So homework day 25 in chapter 4 continues on with some of those basic rules for working with variables. The first one has to do with dividing, and we did some dividing when we didn't have any negative numbers in there before. Now they're going to throw the negative numbers in there too. So the rule said if I had x to the m divided by x to the n, that I do x to the m minus n. In other words, when I'm dividing with the same base, I'm going to subtract my exponents. So what I'm going to do here is I have x to the 5th on top. I'm going to subtract my negative 9, since there's a negative 9 on the bottom. And when we subtract a negative, it becomes positive, and so I would have x to the 5 plus 9, which would give me x to the 14th power. Since this one has a positive exponent, we don't have to simplify it any farther from there. That's just going to be my answer. So on number 2, if I have x to the negative 4 divided by x to the negative 2, my rule is to subtract my exponents, so I'm going to do what?
Subtract them.
I'm going to subtract negative 4 minus a negative 2, right? And when I do negative 4 minus a negative 2, again on this one I have subtracting a negative, which means I have to do negative 4 plus 2, and I get x to the negative 2 power. Now in this one we have the negative exponent, so we have to get rid of the negative exponent. And if you weren't here for the 2 previous pages, you maybe don't know how to get rid of that negative exponent. To get rid of the negative exponent, it means you're going to do the reciprocal. So if I have x to the negative 2, to simplify that, I'm going to write it as 1 over x to the positive 2 power. Then when I do the reciprocal, it makes my exponent positive instead of negative. So 1 over x squared is how my answer would look. So on the third one, I want to simplify x to the negative 8 divided by x to the 9th. What would I do?
Negative 8 minus 9.
So I'm going to have negative 8 minus 9, which would give me
17.
negative 17, right? And if I have x to the negative 17, I have to simplify that by writing it as
1 over x.
to the 17th power. 1 over x to the 17th. I just do the reciprocal. So when I'm dividing with the same base, I just subtract my exponents. The next rule is another one that we had before with only positive exponents, and now they're throwing in